kind of what's your schedule, I guess, for the next week or so? What are you doing as you kind of prepare for all this?
Yeah, the guys were in today, really to put the game to bed, and then they'll be off tomorrow, and we'll have a good work day on Wednesday and Thursday, and then the players will have a few days off, and we'll be back rocking on Monday. So it's a little tricky because you don't know what day you're going to play, and you're not sure you're going to play, and not sure who you're going to play yet. So there's a balance of trying to stay ready, stay sharp, but also be able to take advantage of the opportunity we have to take care of our bodies and get as fresh as possible.
So during those practices, obviously, you're not game planning for a specific team or anything
No,
like
no,
that.
it's a combination of some things we need to see, some ways we've been attacked, and then really just try to go out and play really great, clean Seahawk football. Just executing and running our stuff and trying to stay sharp.
Masvita?
Hey, Mike, I've heard you mention we have the term come to life, and you mentioned it this morning. What are the elements needed for a program team to make it come to life and then be consistent in making it come to life?
Well, I think that's a trick is you got to be consistent. You can't change the goalposts. So it starts with a clear vision, and then getting people bought in to go that direction, and then as coaches, it's our job to steer the ship and make sure they're hitting those kind of daily standards to make it come to life. It really is. It's just a fact of it's coming from words on a board, words on a screen, conversation, your imagination, and then what shows up on tape and on a daily basis.
Kind of a lighthearted one. This morning you said you don't I don't you don't want me making a playlist. So I was wondering if you were to make a playlist, what are some of the songs or groups that would be on there?
I'm on like the country kick right now, and then I'm on a good bit of like worship. There's some great worship music out there right now, so those are kind of the two go tos. If you go to my like daily mix on Spotify, like I hit that button a lot, and it's a lot of gospel songs.
Thank you.
Curtis?
Yeah, Mike, you had a couple successful screens in the game. You kind of
Yeah.
had the
Yeah.
screens coming to life more kind of in general recently. What do you think's kind of allowed that to kind of come and start to pop and have success in that front for you guys?
See, screen game coming to life. There you go. What did it take? Well, we wanted to be better at it. Worked on it every day. Uh, yeah, it's great. It's great. It's a really important part of our offense, and we called them at some good times. Clint did a great job of calling them, and the guys, our execution, I feel like has really taken steps. It's kind of been like one thing or another throughout the course of the season, and I felt like we finally really been aligned on some of those plays. So it's great to get the screen game off the ground.
And you mentioned talking about Charles this morning that he's kind of a big factor in the locker room for you. He seems like a pretty quiet personality. So how does that show up to you guys in there? Like what is he kind of like behind the scenes to kind of make you feel that way about him and what he brings?
Well, he's got such a great spirit to him, and great teammate. Just very unselfish, extremely hard worker, humble, confident. All those things. I mean, they come in all sorts of different personalities, and he's authentic to him, and I think his teammates really respect the heck out of him. He's been great for Gray since Gray walked in the door. That's what you see, and then just a great person, man. Just really is. I mean, I don't know if you've gotten to know him, but he's just a great person that we really respect, and turns out he's a great football player too.
Jen?
Coach, out of all of the congratulatory messages that you got, is there one message or one conversation that stands out or means the most?
Probably. I mean, look, it's cheesy, but like just to go home to see, like Steph doesn't go on the away trip, so I gave her a hat and a T-shirt when we got home, and that was pretty great.
Okay.
Michael Sean?
Hey, Mike, with Jackson, there are a few times this year when we've asked you about him, you have referenced kind of his attitude in the offseason, kind of how he approached it. With the season that the regular season's over, the season he's had, how much do you think just want to on Jackson's part contributes to how he's able to produce the way he does?
Yeah, I'd say it plays a huge part. That's if you slice away, slice the pie. That's a big chunk. But that goes to like the daily inputs. Like you got to be committed to that process to do it every day. And he's a competitor. I think like he had this vision of who he thought he could be as a player, and he's just all he's done is just chase it. And so there's a lot of want to behind that.
And looking at, you've talked a lot about John and his vision for the roster and things like that. Because you were more involved, like being able to go to the Senior Bowl and all that stuff this last like cycle, how much do you think being more involved contributed to you matching his vision? You know what I mean? Like you guys being aligned in how you wanted to build things this year.
Yeah. I think when we say like, I think we were aligned on how we wanted to build it from the beginning. I think just having the opportunity to have a full off season to work together is really just kind of more ways to connect. It's kind of like our players. Like, hey, look, you're going to come in the off season. If you're going to be here, get the best out of it. Spend time with one another. Get to know each other. Get to know all the kind of the idiosyncrasies of things. I think it's the same thing with John and the personnel side and the coaching. Is just the more conversations we can have about more players, about more things we want to build, how we want our team to look. It's just things get ironed out inevitably, and it just becomes a lot like more streamlined, I think. And so that was probably the biggest benefit of being able to spend a lot of time together in the off season.
Thank you,
Greg.
Mike, are you doing your staff doing any advanced scouting on the what if opponents? You're just going to wait till that's.
No, we'll be working on those teams throughout the week. Yep, I mean it's a combination where I think the possible teams are Green Bay, Carolina, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. So, we have those recent games with 3 of those teams, and so we'll spend a good amount of time working on Green Bay as well. So, however the weekend ends up shaking out, we should feel really great going into Monday.
And there's another new frontier it looks like might be coming down your leadership pike. What's your philosophy on assistant coaches and opportunities to interview? And do you do anything during a season to prepare them and dual track of what their job is and what their future job might be?
I think part of our vision of what we want to create here is a team where coaches want to work, and they can feel like they're getting developed too, and they're getting opportunities. And so if we're doing what we're supposed to on the field, those opportunities are going to come. And it's great that some of those are happening, so we're cheering those guys on. It's a little bittersweet to a certain degree that you might lose a great person and a great coach from your team, but and not enough to kind of stymie their progress. We're definitely rooting for those people and encourage them to, look at if it's a great opportunity for them. Now, on the other hand, if someone doesn't really want to be, if they want to pursue an opportunity and they don't want to be here, then we'll let them go as well too. We want guys that want to be here, but we got a great staff. And and then to your question about throughout the season, I think maybe some people can pull that off. I find it difficult throughout the in season to really work on that type of stuff, but we'd be focusing on those types of growth opportunities in the off season, which I feel like we do a good job of that.
Brian?
Yeah, Coach. I'm just thinking about Tariq Woolen and kind of his trajectory and not having the best first game or at least a couple plays and then losing some snaps and then gaining him back. Curious if you've learned anything about him this year as a professional, as a player, as a teammate.
I wouldn't say I've learned this because I feel like we knew this from the get-go, but Tariq is a great person. he's just a good dude. He's a great person, man. He loves his teammates. He's got his own unique personality, which is awesome, and it's him, and it's kind of just, it's great, and you respect him for it because he's just so authentically him. So, in addition to the football, journey that he's had and put himself in this position, which you're really happy for him for that, and it's great for us because it helps us play great defense. And but he's a really, really good guy.
And then this is kind of your second year, I guess, focusing on offensive film maybe as much as you focus on defense. I don't know if that's the case as being a head coach now. What have you picked up? You know, what are some of the things that you've learned now that you watch offensive tape in a different kind of way?
Well, I've learned a lot from our offensive staff. I can tell you that throughout the offseason and how we install things and things that they're looking for. A lot of great insights, how we coach certain techniques, things that they're looking for, how we're coaching the quarterback. All those things have really helped our defense, I feel like, this year. Throughout the season, it's not as much time that I'm spending with the offensive staff just because our responsibility is on defense. But I can tell you this, I've learned a lot from those guys, and they obviously they're doing a great job, but it's really helped us on defense as well.
Thank you.
John?
Yeah, defensively, the last couple weeks, the explosive numbers have been really low. I know that's, any defensive coach wants to see that, but what's kind of been the key to really eliminating those recently?
Yeah. I'll tell you, like one of the things that I think we're most proud of our defensive tape is the waves of football, waves of Seahawks that get to the ball. And what that does is it allows you to take really aggressive angles. So I don't feel like I'm just playing by myself out there. And so I feel like our team is really committed to playing in that type of style and that type of speed and that type of effort. And when you do that, you might miss a tackle here or there, but it's going to get cleaned up, and you're going to get multiple people at the point of attack where you can limit some of those extra hidden yardages.
And then one on the other side of the ball. I know you said you're hoping to get Charles back after the bye here, but Josh Jones, just what has he given you last 3 weeks, especially playing through an injury last week?
Yeah, Josh has done a great job. Amari obviously was ready to go if something happened to Josh. He played really good football. He's a great ad by John and the gang, in the off season, and he's just been steady for us. He's been ready to go. In camp he was competing for a significant playing time and put himself in position to really carve out a great role for him, and he has. But once you have to kind of declare your starting five, then he's been great in that kind of swing tackle role, and he was ready to go. So we appreciate him, playing through it on Saturday because we really needed him.
Brady?
Hi, Mike. With your run game, are there things that you guys have found there that are tweaks that you guys have made? Or I think you kind of talked about this last week. Is it really just you guys sticking to what you've been doing and now it's finally clicking?
Well, I think that's a big part of it. And then I think we have a better idea of like how much we can handle on a week-to-week basis. Like how many runs can we carry? How many different types of runs? How many different formations can we build it out of? Kind of like how much you put on your quarterback's plate. It's defensively too. It's like how much stuff can we bring into a game where our guys we have the right balance of like answers and enough scheme to really give us an advantage, or we feel like it's an advantage, and then there's a balance of that of like how much can you actually execute given the amount of reps throughout the week. So I think that's been something that we've kind of chiseled away at throughout the year and really throughout maybe the last month. Probably since the bye, honestly, or coming out of the Thursday game, I feel like we really had a better understanding of, what that balance is. So it's helped us.
And then, based on your answer to Greg's question, it sounds like you guys have had multiple requests for your assistants to get interviews. Are you able to tell us who that is?
To my knowledge, right now, it's just Clint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there might be more. I haven't heard of any yet.
Okay, thank you.
Bob?
Yeah, Mike, do you anticipate anybody returning to practice this week or anything like that? Or
I haven't gotten the update on the guys that have been out, but the timetable is still the way we said it at the end of last week, where we're still optimistic to have them back either during practice this week or sometime next week.
Okay. And then one more. I know you talked about the 3rd and long runs on the radio this morning, specifically the one with Ken on the 3rd and 17 that he picked up. Just what did you really see come together on that play that made that play work so well?
That's a 12-1 play. I mean, everybody hit their targets, they hit their blocks, and then my favorite part of the play is Bobo and Jax, celebrating more than anybody else. 2 receivers on a 3rd and long, who got their guys blocked and sprang the run that got Ken the first down. It was a heck of a run by Ken, but there's a lot of great blocking going on that play. And then to see the guys celebrate like that for the success of the team and their teammate was really cool.
Brian?
Yeah, sorry if you already answered this. Let me know. But just for folks that don't know all the things that go into decisions on play calling, when you're at the 1 yard line, people see all the success with the barnyard. Why isn't it as simple as just calling that play a couple times?
Well, that's something certainly we probably should have done in that situation. We had, we go over our goal line plan every week, and all those plays, ultimately I sign off on, and I thought we had a great plan, and it was a good play. We just didn't get it done. So, maybe we saved that play for another situation, or who knows. But definitely the sneak is under consideration in that moment.
Thank you,
Curtis.
Yeah, Mike, Rasheed's got just 2 catches for 10 yards over the last 3 games. I know he's been factoring in other ways, the return game and everything, and draw a couple penalties and such, but how do you kind of see him as a receiver in your offense right now? His speed theoretically should be able to give you guys some chances downfield that maybe haven't hit as much as you might think. What do you kind of view as to that outlook right now and where he's been, and maybe getting the ball more, and how that kind of all fits into what you're trying to do at the moment?
Yeah, I don't see like any drop off from where we were singing his praises before he started that. So was that 3 weeks ago? I think he's still continuing to improve, and the chemistry's still building, and he's doing a lot of things that are helping other guys. Taking the top off the defense to let an in cut run behind him. I mean, he ran the slant that drew the DPI that got us the first down. So it's not like he's not being productive for us. It's just the ball's not finding him right now, and he's definitely part of our plans. I mean, we're drawing stuff up for him every week. That's a big part of our plan. It just hasn't hit yet.
Okay, 2 more. Nico?
Thank you. Coach, this team has been so good collectively, but when it comes to your quarterback, what is it that you've learned about him this season that you're excited to see in the playoffs when it comes to Sam Darnold?
Well, I think the strength of our team is the synergy behind it. So Sam plays probably the most important position, but he's one of the 11 guys out there, and of what we're trying to create, it feels like 12. And so he's been steady in that. And part of our message to our guys is, I know we're going to the playoffs, but nothing changes in terms of our preparation, our mentality. It's the same thing that, circumstances around the game, people are going to be talking about. But for us, the things that we need to be able to do to be able to have success is going to stay the same. And so Sam's been a great example of that for our whole team, the way he's been so consistent all year.
Last question, Greg.
Mike, back to Jake Bobo. He's played about a third of the offensive snaps he'd been playing previous years.
Yeah.
Healthy scratch a few times. Yet he comes up big on that 3rd and 17 play, like you said. How's he handled all this, and how his readiness is like it was for that big play Saturday?
Yeah, Jake's been great. I mean, he was a captain this past game. I can tell you what the coaching staff thinks of him and the job that he's done. So it's been unfortunate we haven't been able to get him active on some of those games. It turns, when you have receivers that are doing, when Cody was playing the way that he was playing, it's just, there's only so many spots you can take going into a game. So, and Jake's a great competitor too, and he's a great teammate, and he's supporting the guys, but he's also competing for that role as well. And that's exactly the way that you want it, where guys are sharpening each other all the time. And in the last couple of games, being active, I thought he's really shown the impact they can have on games, though the ball might not find him, the way he's playing on special teams, and the role he plays for our offense. So it hasn't been the role probably he envisioned for himself at the beginning of the season, but I can tell you it's been very, very significant to help us get to this point in the season.
And on that 3rd and 17, I think he blocked 2 guys. That probably wasn't his assignment, but was he above and beyond there?
Yeah, that was call it a 1.09. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll see you Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay. All right. Thank you.